Did the conquest of Constantinople in 1453 have anything to do with akhir zaman? The whole world has accepted this is the fulfillment of the prophecy. Yet if they had done their homework, they would know, for example, the hadith in the Sunan of Abi Dawood, which we'll be quoting soon, that the conquest of Constantinople is located between a number of events. Before the conquest of Constantinople, there is the Malhama, the Great War, which will make the First and Second World War look like a fight over peanuts. Has the Malhama taken place as yet? Huh? And yet you are telling me that the conquest of Constantinople 600 years ago fulfilled the prophecy? Where has your reason gone? Where has your sense gone? Secondly, that the conquest of Constantinople will be followed by the Khuruj of Dajjal. I mean, 600 years now, has Dajjal emerged? Has the Khuruj taken place? 600 years later. And so we are going to now move towards dismissing the belief held so fervently, particularly in Turkey. And Turkish television and radio, newspapers are doing the best that they can do to brainwash the Turkish people into believing that Sultan Muhammad Fatih is the one referred to in the hadith of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. If the conquest of Constantinople is to come, how can Muslims conquer a city they've already conquered? Did you hear that question? It's a bit difficult. How can Muslims conquer a city they've already conquered 600 years ago, 500 years ago? What does it mean? Well, then we have to ask our question. If Muslims are to conquer Constantinople in the future, and it is a Muslim city, meaning basically Muslim population, I wonder who is ruling over Constantinople? Who has supreme authority, strategic, military in Constantinople? Is it Muslims? Good question to ask. And they gave to the name, the city, they renamed the city Istanbul. But that's not all. Mustafa Kemal did something more. Something which has to be recognized as monstrously wicked. He prohibited the use of the name Constantinople. The law is you're not allowed to use the name Constantinople. That's the law. You violate the law, you pay the price for it. Why did he do that? My answer is that if you are a Muslim, then Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is your leader. And if my leader referred to the city by the name Constantinople, as he did on several occasions, then no Muslim can be part and parcel to changing the name from Constantinople. No. It's an act of disrespect to the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. The enemies may change the name as much as they want, but we Muslims will stay with the name used by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They changed the name. I would like to suggest to you that the answer to that question is located in ilmu akhir zaman. that when you study akhir, zaman, or Islamic eschatology, you will quickly realize that the conquest of Constantinople, prophesied by Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, has not as yet taken place. And we will prove that tonight, inshallah. That conquest of Constantinople is still to come. But it was part and parcel of the strategy of those who took over from the Ottoman Empire to conceal what is to come, to throw dust in our eyes so that we would forget the subject. We would be lazy in our study of the subject, and we would uncritically assume, in ignorance assume, as so many scholars of Islam have assumed, and it's there in black and white on the internet, they can't erase it now, that they concluded that the conquest of Constantinople by the Ottomans in 1453 fulfilled the prophecy. That's the mountain of a mistake which they made, and they will live to regret that mistake. And so they changed the name of the city in order to obscure the subject. They prohibited the use of the name Constantinople in order to obscure the subject, that we would forget about it. But when the conquest of Constantinople does take place, and from tonight we hope that the subject is going to come back to center stage in the attention of the world, because we now have the internet, we have YouTube. O you who have faith in Allah, do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your friends and allies. لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء. And we ask the question pertinently, is Allah speaking about all Jews and all Christians? Or is He speaking about some Jews and some Christians? When you go to the totality of the Quran, the answer becomes very clear that He could not possibly be speaking about all Jews and all Christians. No, many verses of the Quran. Well then, if He was not speaking about all Jews and Christians, which Jews and which Christians is He speaking about? When He says, do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your friends and allies, your awliya. The answer is there in the words which follow. It is because of bad methodology that we never saw the answer. Proper methodology and you would have seen the answer. The words which follow are ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd, meaning do not take such Jews and such Christians as your friends and allies. Ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd, who themselves are friends and allies of each other. The Quran is anticipating a time to come when a Jewish-Christian friendship and alliance will take place. Jews and Christians are going to become friends and allies of each other. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever turns to them with friendship and alliance, as they did in Libya, to overthrow Gaddafi, as they're doing in Syria. Not all in Syria, no. I'm talking about the terrorists, the mercenaries who are waging a Zionist jihad وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. If you turn to them with friendship and alliance, the Zionist kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Zionist state of Qatar, the pro-Zionist government of Turkey, if you turn to them for friendship and alliance, فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ, you now belong to them, you've lost your Islam. And therefore, a Turkish membership in NATO is haram, based on the Quran. And therefore, Constantinople is not under Muslim control. Constantinople is under the control of NATO, and therefore under the control of the Zionists.